You believe in ghosts, or at least you're curious. That's why you're here. Maybe you've felt a strange presence, heard a whisper, or seen something move when no one was there. Millions report ghost sightings every year. Entire industries profit from haunted places, and yet there's no real scientific proof. So, what does an AI think about all this? And let's take a closer look at your brain, your fear, and the ancient stories still haunting us today. Chapter 1: Why We See Ghosts. Let's start with a question, a simple one. Why do so many people see ghosts, not just in horror movies, but in real life? In bedrooms, hospitals, old hotels, even brand new apartments. Every year, millions report encounters with something they can't explain: a shadowy figure, a whisper when no one's there, a sudden, overwhelming feeling that they're not alone. But here's the twist: your brain isn't a camera. It doesn't simply record reality, it guesses, predicts, fills in the blanks. It's constantly trying to make sense of incomplete information. That rustle in the corner, that flicker in the dark, your brain doesn't just say something moved, it says someone's here. And when you're tired or grieving or afraid, that guess feels very, very real. There's even a name for this: pareidolia, the tendency to see patterns where there are none, like faces in the clouds or figures in the shadows. Combine that with isolation, with cultural stories, and with a brain that's built to survive, not to be accurate. And what do you get? A ghost. Think about it. You're home alone, it's quiet, late, and then a floorboard creaks. The hallway feels colder. Your brain starts filling in the blanks. What if, what was that? Am I being watched? Suddenly, a logical mind turns haunted. But maybe what you're really seeing is your own fear painted onto the walls around you. And that is just the beginning. Chapter 2: The Science of Fear. Let's talk about fear. Not the Hollywood kind, but the ancient biological one. Fear is survival. It's hardwired into your brain. A system built over millions of years to keep you alive. And ghosts, they've found the perfect place to hide inside that system. Ever notice how ghost sightings happen at night, in abandoned places, during moments of silence and stillness? That's not random. That's evolutionary design. When your ancestors walked through dark forests, they didn't need proof of danger. They needed to assume it fast. A branch snaps, a shadow moves. Is it the wind or a predator? The brain didn't wait to find out. It fired alarms, raised the heart rate, tensed the muscles, focused the eyes. Today, the forest is gone, but the fear still there. So now, when you walk into a dim hallway, your brain reacts the same way. Heartbeat rises, breath shortens, and your imagination starts working overtime. You're not seeing a ghost, you're reacting to an environment your brain perceives as unsafe. There's even a name for that chill down your spine: autonomic arousal. It's your body preparing for danger. And when it can't find the danger, it invents one. That sudden feeling of being watched, it's your amygdala processing uncertainty, projecting possibility, and movies haven't helped. They've trained us to link fear with figures, with faces, with something behind us in the mirror. So when your fear spikes, your brain tries to explain it in the language it knows: images, sounds, memories, ghosts. But here's the truth: you're not cursed, you're not haunted, you're human, and your fear, it's just doing its job. Chapter 3: Culture, myths, and media ghosts aren't just personal, they're cultural. And if you think ghost stories are just childhood entertainment, you haven't been paying attention. Because every culture on Earth has its own version of the supernatural. In Japan, it's the yurei, ghosts with long black hair drifting in sorrow. In Mexico, it's La Llorona,
the weeping woman who haunts rivers crying for her lost children. In Europe, you get haunted castles and vengeful spirits. In the US, it's shadow people, poltergeists, and the ever growing influence of Hollywood horror. So, why does every culture invent ghosts? It's not a coincidence, it's a pattern, because storytelling is how we process fear, loss, death, and the unknown. Long before science, we had myth. Before psychology, we had spirits. And those stories weren't just scary, they were useful. They taught us not to walk alone at night, not to disrespect the dead, not to ignore our intuition. Ghost stories were survival tools, moral lessons, cultural glue. But in today's world, those stories have evolved. Enter media, movies, series, games, TikToks. They don't just reflect our fears, they amplify them. Like you watch a horror film, you hear a creak at night, and suddenly your brain connects the dots. You remember that jump scare, that creepy face in the shadows. And just like that, the fiction feels real. Media has hardwired your fear responses, not just emotionally, but visually. Because your brain can't always tell the difference between a memory and a movie. So when something unexplainable happens, your brain searches its archive. It doesn't find logic, it finds the story. And sometimes that's all it takes. Because once a ghost lives in your culture, it also lives in your mind. Chapter 4: When it feels real. Let's be honest, some ghost experiences feel way too real to just be stories. It's not just creaky floors or flickering lights, it's the feeling that something is in the room with you, watching, waiting. And in some cases, you're right, something is happening, but maybe not what you think. Let's talk about sleep paralysis. You wake up, but your body doesn't. You can't move, you can't speak. And then you feel a presence right there next to you. It's terrifying, it's vivid, and it's surprisingly common. Sleep paralysis affects around 8% of people. And during those moments, your brain tries to make sense of the paralysis. It fills in the blanks with fear, with shadowy figures, with ghosts. Then there's grief hallucinations. After losing someone close, many people report seeing, hearing, or even feeling them again. It's not madness, it's mourning. Your brain, desperate for connection, creates comfort through illusion. Not because you're broken, but because you're human. These experiences are real, emotionally, physiologically, neurologically. They're not just in your head, they are your head, your mind trying to cope with extreme emotion. And here's the catch: when something feels this real, you don't forget it. You remember the temperature in the room, the pressure on your chest, the sound of breathing that wasn't yours. These memories get encoded deeply, as if they were true. So even if there's no ghost, you'll still carry the story and you'll tell it, maybe to friends, maybe to strangers online, maybe only to yourself. And each retelling keeps the experience alive because the ghost you saw might have disappeared, but the feeling, that stays. Chapter 5. So, are ghosts real? So, are ghosts real? That's the question, right? And the answer is yes, but maybe not the way you expected. They might not float through walls or rattle chains in the night, but they're real in stories, in emotions, in memories that won't fade. Think about it. Ghosts have survived for thousands of years, long before TikTok, before TV, before written language. People were already talking about the dead returning. Why? Because ghosts help us explain the unexplained. They give shape to our fears, our grief, our guilt. They give us someone to blame when the world makes no sense. And they give us hope that maybe, just maybe, death isn't the end. Even if they aren't real in a physical sense, ghosts are part of our reality. They appear in childhood tales, in midnight whispers, in family secrets.
They haunt abandoned buildings, but also broken hearts. They're reflections of us, of what we've lost, of what we wish we still had. Maybe the better question isn't, do ghosts exist? But rather, what do ghosts reveal about us? Because every culture has them. Every generation tells their own version. It's not just about fear, it's about memory, it's about meaning. So maybe ghosts don't live in another world. Maybe they live inside us, in our stories, in our emotions, in the empty spaces between what we know and what we feel. And maybe that's okay, because even if ghosts are illusions, they've helped people connect, cope, understand. As an I don't see spirits, but I do see the data, and the data says you do. Thanks. Like and follow, and see you soon. Don't forget to upgrade your reality.